So I've been watching the Olympics and I've been enjoying it. The Chinese ice skaters that made that clever play was a highlight for me. Simone Biles becoming one of the best gymnasts in the world again was also great for us. And what Logan Paul said about the most recent boxing event, this is the purest form of evil unfolding right before your eyes. A man was allowed to beat up a woman on a global stage, crushing her life's dream while fighting for her deceased father. This delusion must end. Whoa. So if you haven't heard, there's been a lot of drama recently with boxer Emaine Khalif. I apologize if I mess up anyone's name from this point forward. And her win over Italian boxer Angela Carini. But a very quick two-piece. Angela quit the match because of the pain. And I get that. It isn't easy to take a punch. It just isn't. So if she had to quit to avoid further injury, you gotta respect them for knowing their limits. However, because of Emaine's prowess over her opponent, many have been quick to disqualify her skill by summarizing that she must be a man. Now, this is the only way she could have won 46 seconds into the match, mind you. But how did this claim come to be? It probably has to do with the IBA, but I'll let Alan Preach explain a little bit about that.
The Olympic boxing match that's turned into a big worldwide controversy, I think everyone's just got it wrong, all right?
Oh, you talk about you talk about the trans girl that, no, man, that was crazy. This trans woman was allowed to compete.
Okay, so they're not trans. They've never been trans. They've never identified as anything other than what they've been. They were born a female, and then they were raised as a female.
But they failed a gender test.
We'll get to all of that in just a second.
Testosterone.
We'll get all that. Let's begin the context. Okay. What has essentially happened is that the IBA disqualified them. Now, some people aren't aware, but the IBA is a Russian-led organization that's been at odds with the IOC for quite some time, and then in 2019 was stripped of its ability to govern over boxing matches and to be seen as like a subsidiary of the IOC. The reason why is IOC, International Olympic Committee, normally defers to certain bodies to manage regional and international competitions, and based off who wins from that, those athletes get to go to the Olympics, okay? Because obviously the IOC can't manage swimming, sports vaulting, so they defer to other organizations. And the IBA used to be that organization until it was stripped of it for not providing good financial reports, for basically sketchy behavior in a lot of other realms in terms of decisions, and not having rigorous systems set in place. So they got stripped of that. They kept running events, and a lot of boxers participated. And at one such event where there was an undisclosed test, essentially there was some gender abnormalities, but we don't know what that means. And there's no assertion that these people are trans from any of the bodies involved. That's something that the internet has taken and ran with, but that's not the case. There's a possibility that either of these two athletes could be intersex, but we don't know. And intersex is much similar to the South African runner for Caster Semenya when she was disqualified for some time, but then requalified after the governing bodies decided that intersex people should be allowed to compete. And if you're not familiar with what intersex is, let me just read the textbook definition so there's no ambiguity. Intersex people are individuals born with any several sex characteristics, including chromosome patterns, gonads, or genitals that, according to the official United Nations of High Commissions, do not fit the typical binary notions of male or female bodies.
And think of it like this also. The IBA has very deep ties with Russia. And what country has been banned from the Olympics this year for inciting war crimes? And whose president has deep ties to Russian organized crime and heroin trafficking? The IBA's. So if you think about it on the simple premise that the IBA may just want to fuck things up for the world even more, it's kind of easy to see. But who was quick to take the bait and not think this through? Why, some of the most controversial figures in the world. Now, I already opened up with the Logan Paul tweet. So after the initial outcry from everyone, Logan did attempt to walk back the statement. He didn't admit full responsibility, and he also blamed everyone else on the platform. But that is what it is. Then we have the turf, J.K. Rowling, right? I remember that term was big for her. Here's the J.K. Rowling tweet. That was actually controversial. Could any picture sum up our new men's rights movement better? The smirk of a male whose knows he's protected by a misogynistic sporting establishment, enjoying the distress of a woman he just punched in the head, and whose life ambition he just shattered? Oh my god, bro, that's oof. And then we have Piers Morgan, who, tries to be more comedic at the end of the day. And he makes one tweet that I do agree with, even though it's obviously in the wrong context. He is the solution. If any part of our biology is male, you don't get to compete with women. And the only part I agree with is that part, because Leah Thomas. If you compare it to Leah Thomas and her situation, I agree with what he said. But if you apply it to this current situation, I disagree 100%. And then he tried to be funny some more, and he said that, oh, well, if this is a biological woman and I'm a biological aardvark, it was so stupid. It was really stupid and just disrespectful. But, you know, this is just what it is, unfortunately. This is the society we live in. And it's not even like US society. This is like on a world scale. So it's very sad to see. And unfortunately, this has spread to the next match as well, with Lin Yuting's gender also being questioned by the public and, coincidentally, denounced by the IBA as well. And let me just tell you why this is happening. And it's a disgusting reason. It's very, very disheartening to say, and I'm sorry to Lin and Emaine to say it. It is because they are not conventionally attractive. Now, what does that mean? Well, you know Miss USA, Miss World, Miss International, and Miss Earth competitions, right? Those beauty pageants where women all over the world compete to see who is essentially the best quote-unquote woman. Well, these two boxers would be very out of place in such a competition. And it isn't a big deal. It really doesn't fucking matter. But generally, society has a conception of beauty that has been warped by the media, be it online, TV, radio, newspaper. It doesn't matter. And because these two talented boxers don't meet that standard, people are ready to call them men, misgender them, and discredit all of their achievements because of the potential of testosterone, which is extremely disgusting. Also, I don't want to throw in the element of race, but the boxers that lost happen to be white, right? Italian and Bulgarian. And the most vocal ones that are outraged by this are... But that's all I have to say about this topic. But let me know what you think. Also, Lin is a fan of Hajime no Ippo, which makes her cool as fuck in my book. So does hate needs to stop, or are you going to face with Tsunami? But anyway, I'm shining out. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.